And we're live here at the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neal, and I'm joined by Matthew Patrick Davis, musician, and he's also the mother of Barbarian. A big spoiler there.
That's right. This will be a spoiler-filled podcast.
It would be hard to do the interview without it.
Exactly. My entire character is a big spoiler. So if you haven't seen Barbarian, push pause or do something, and then go see Barbarian, watch it on HBO Max, then come back.
Yes. And I think all movies are like this, but especially Barbarian, it was best going in without not knowing much about it.
Yeah. Did you get to see it in the theater?
I did. Yeah. I saw it twice. I went to see it and I really liked it. And then I brought my friend Annabelle to go see it again.
Nice.
Yeah. And it's weird. The first 45 minutes, I think, is like a great movie. Not that it's not after that, but then it becomes a completely different movie.
That's right. Switches it up, takes a bunch of turns.
Which, in a way, I think some of the stuff I think is really smart in the first 45 minutes is overshadowed by your character and what happens after that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like what?
I think it. But the two characters, their interaction, and he's like throwing out like stuff that you think be red flags. And there's a lot of like tension, like, is he a bad guy? Maybe the twist is she's, not who she seems. And I think that's all really interesting. And not that the rest of the movie isn't, but then I think that builds up so much tension, you think, between those two, and then it goes totally different place.
Right. And I mean, it's kind of about a spectrum of male nastiness, right? And then the question is like, well, Bill Skarsgård's character, where is he on that spectrum? And he's obviously not horrific as AJ or as Frank, not at all, not in the slightest. But right. Still, he's like being, kind of a jerk and not listening to her, and that would have saved his life if he just listened to her.
All right. But I guess on the scheme of things, being a bit of a jerk is better than some of the stuff that happens.
Then having a murder, rape den dungeon in your house is probably better. Yeah.
Depending on your point of view, I guess.
Yeah.
So how did you get the role? Because I've been watching your videos, you're a musician, you're doing very cool musicals. And when I see you, I don't think, oh, this is a good guy to play, this monstrous underground mother.
To play a large naked feral woman.
Exactly.
You don't immediately think of me.
I hope you don't get typecast.
I know, boy. I'm never gonna get to wear a shirt again. I like spinning many disparate plates. So yes, in addition to writing musicals and like kids songs for kids shows, sure, I'll also get in prosthetics and murder some people. And I think it's because so I'm 6'8", I got a tall, skinny, freaky body, and sometimes people want that for their creatures or their monsters or whatnots. The way I got on a short list for this movie is I happen to have the same manager as Doug Jones.
Oh wow.
Shape of Water, Fish guy, Pan's Labyrinth guy. And my manager is a comedy manager. He came to my one-man musical that I did at the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater like a million years ago. And then when we went to sign, he represents a lot of comics, and I was like, hey, by the way, I also know who Doug Jones is, and I would like to do that also as a tall, skinny person, just FYI. So ever since then, people will come to him for Doug, and Doug will be very busy, unavailable. And then he'll do the old Doug Jones pivot. He'll be like, I have a different tall, skinny physical actor. And then, so that's how I got on a Zoom call with Zach Cregger, the writer director of Barbarian, before any sort of breakdown was released for the role. And then after that Zoom, he was like, hey, could you put yourself on tape? There's a scene where she bites the head off of a rat. Can you just do that scene? And he's like, and also I hate myself for asking this, but can you take your shirt off? And but it looked weird with me in shorts. So I took my shorts off too. So I was just in this room in my office with all the lights off in my underwear. And I grabbed a pickle and was pretending that was the rat. And so I'm drooling pickle juice all over my floor with towels on the ground. And that was the tape that that booked it. That was the booker.
I love it. So, what does he like give you for like advice as to like to kind of, I don't know, base the character on? But is there anything he tells you to watch or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, at first he told me to watch Nosferatu, the Klaus Kinski, Werner Herzog one, and yeah, I loved his physicality in that. So like such to go from stillness and then to sharp, quick movements. But really what got me in and keyed me into the role, he told me to look up feral children, which I didn't even really know what that meant at the time. But then well,
it's a good thing you were like, oh, I have a bookmark of feral children videos. Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's what I do to go to sleep. No, so it sent me down this horrible, dark YouTube rabbit hole of depressing videos of actual real life cases of like, girls being trapped in their formative stages. And I didn't mean for that to rhyme.
You got a new song in the making.
Yeah. That's right. Trapped in cages in their formative stages. Oh my gosh. Sorry.
Feral Children, the musical.
That's right. Yeah, that would be appropriate. Oh my gosh. I'm not making light of these horrific stories.
No, I'm not either. Right.
I laugh so I don't cry, anyways, it really just opened up the character and gave me real empathy for the mother because, as you see by the end of it, she is a victim, and also, I mean, tragically, a lot of these cases, they would be described as 2-year-olds in a 20-year-old's body or that kind of thing. And they wouldn't be verbal because they'd never learned to speak and in their formative stages. So it was just explained why the mother was nonverbal, and it just brought so much more to the character than her being a scary monster that goes rah,
Do you get more of a backstory for, you don't have to like tell us, but do you get more of a backstory for her character from him, or do you even create one yourself?
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's still questions that he has about the backstory, and there are questions that I still have too. And yeah, I don't think, I mean, beyond the fact that, she was raised in a cage and is a victim of horrific abuse, and, thinking of her as like a child in a large horrific body. And, so when she murders someone, it's, it could be just as like a kid, knocking their blocks off the table, and instead it happens to be Bill Skarsgård's head. Oh, spoiler alert. But also it's a lot about it as protecting her baby,
Mm-hmm.
So she's having a tantrum. But yeah, as far as going deep into the backstory, I don't know. We'll have to save that for the prequel. I don't know.
Oh, interesting. Well, I like the stuff in the movie where it's the room is just seeing the room is creepy enough.
Yeah.
And I don't think you need to show exactly what happened in the room, because I think what you're thinking of is probably going to be just as bad or worse than what you could actually show in a movie.
Well, and I like that that's what Zach did, that he didn't use the horrific abuse of women to like in an exploitative way. I like that when, Justin's character finds the videotapes and pushes in the videotape, you don't see what's on the tape. It just like, it cuts to, it almost has like the movie has like a moment of silence for the victims almost. It cuts away from the basement and just has like silent shots of the house above ground. So I like that about the movie.
Yeah. And you talk about empathy for your character, but then you also they establish that his character isn't likable, so you don't necessarily feel bad for him when things start to happen.
You mean Justin Long's character?
Justin Long character, yeah.
Yeah, I like that they almost give him a moment of redemption, but then he immediately pushes a woman off of a building. So it's like, no, he's a bad guy.
Yeah. What was like when you first saw the finished movie? Because I don't know how familiar you were with like the beginning of the movie, if you were there for the whole filming.
Well, yeah, I was there for 5 weeks. They shot, so I was there for most of the shooting, and they had me spread out. I only shot 12 days throughout that 5 weeks, so I had a lot of downtime. And I did my sightseeing in Bulgaria, which is where we shot. But I also, this was my first film, so I wanted to watch a film be made. So they let me just hang out on set and watch them, make a cool movie. So I had seen a lot of that first chunk of the movie be shot. I hadn't seen a lot of Justin's stuff. So that was
Because
very,
I assume that wasn't all filmed in Bulgaria. A lot of his stuff.
no, it was. I mean, except for him in Malibu.
But,
Like
yeah.
that's actually Malibu, but everything else was shot in Bulgaria. They built that city street in a field in Bulgaria and built those rundown houses. Because apparently it's cheaper to do that than to just shoot.
That's kind of crazy to even think about. Yeah.
Yeah. It's cheaper than shooting in Detroit, I guess. Building Detroit in a field in Bulgaria.
Yeah. How about the tunnels? Are they all built, or did you just go find some creepy tunnels? Or
yeah, those are all on a sound stage. And so where all the interiors were, so the inside of the house was on a sound stage, and then you would go outside, and then there would be the tunnels, and then there would be the stairs that kind of go up. And so it was all in this one sound stage. Yeah.
You said you were 6'8", so how, like, right, even though if they're made tunnels, still you got to crouch down and run. Like, how physically demanding is the room?
Yeah, oh, sorry, my phone beeped. But yeah, no, the tunnels were not 6'8". They were shorter than me, but I figured she would be in kind of an animalistic crouch anyway, so that worked. But the tunnels were dark, and they were made out of kind of like this, like, almost stucco material or something. So every day running through those tunnels, I would end up with all these like scrapes on my forearms and
right.
Yeah.
You said you got into doing the big monster people because you're 6'8" and you're thin and stuff. But once you start getting the prosthetics on, what was that experience like? Because I don't know, I assume before you do it, you don't know if it's something you're into.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've done it a handful of times now. So, but this was the most I had. Like previously, it had been for maybe little like TV spots or a commercial or that kind of thing. So that's going to be a couple days. So this was my first time doing it for 12 days plus some makeup tests. So all in all, I got into the mother costume like 15 days. But it was interesting. I mean, like, as an actor, to just get the gift of seeing yourself in the mirror slowly transform into a completely different, gender, completely different person, someone that doesn't look anything like you. It's very immersive and transformative. And so it's fun. I don't know. You kind of go into like a Zen state, like, even if it did take like 4 hours to get into the makeup or whatever, by the end of shooting, they got it down to like 2.5 or 3 hours.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
No.
That doesn't seem too bad. I don't know. But yeah. Which is worse, so getting the makeup on or taking it off?
It's faster to take it off, but it can't be too fast. And sometimes they wanted to go home just like I wanted to go home. So They were starting to take it off a little too fast. And it is literally glued to your skin. Like if you tried to pull it off, it would rip your skin off. So it does need to be taken off with some care also. So there were some times that I had to be like, hey, slow down. Yeah.
Did you get to keep any of the prosthetics? I don't, for your own personal use or for, I don't know, photo shoots or something?
I unfortunately not. I think my head and my wig and then my sweet boobs are still in Bulgaria.
Oh, you could have made a fortune on OnlyFans.
I know, right?
Yeah. Oh, is Bulgaria? What's the weather like there? Because you said you're nude, but you also have the prosthetics. I don't know, like how hot you are or cold you are when you're filming.
Yeah, I was actually because when I first read the script, I thought it would be a full body suit, but no, it turned out to be more minimal than that. It was just like a face piece, a neck thing covering my Adam's apple, a boob piece, and then a crotch piece, and then the rest was all me, baby. Like it was my arms, my stomach, my back, my butt, my legs. Yeah. So as a result, we were in the summer. We were there in the summer, so it was nice weather. But we had some night shoots, and it would get cold during those night shoots, and particularly like after we've jumped off the water tower and I'm lying on the ground with Georgina on top of me, like the wind was blowing, and I was like, man, I'm just naked at night outside, and it's cold.
Does that just like get out of your mind when you're getting character, or do you just realize I'm cold this whole time?
yeah, I mean, luckily they had like a heated tent for me to go to between takes, and they had a nice robe for me. So I think if I were to act while like visibly shivering or something, that probably wouldn't have helped.
Right.
But yeah, like it's it's not torturous or anything. It's enough to
Yeah.
to
What's Georgina Campbell like?
She's great. Yeah, she's just like, her performance is so impressive, because just to sustain like being at or like near or at crying, and being scared for a long period of time. It was really fascinating to watch her, like in that last scene. We would, they were doing last looks on her, and then I just watched her eyes. She just like kind of went to a different place, and I watched her eyes well up, and then she did the scene, and I was like, oh, that's so impressive, to have that facility with your emotions. And then, cut, and then she'd be back to joking, and, she didn't have to like stay in an intense place for a long period of time. She was able to flip back and forth.
Are you the same way, or do you have to get in the feral child mode? I don't know, maybe if that's something that does affect you.
Yeah, we were flipping in and out of character for sure. And especially the weirder scenes, forcibly breastfeeding Justin Long, we were laughing between takes and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Do you go over those scenes before you do them? Well, I assume you do, but like, I don't know, do you practice, forcibly breastfeeding Justin Long before you do it?
Yeah. Yeah, with like a pillow or something.
A pickle, yeah, I don't know.
Or a pickle. Yeah,
right.
Just everything can be a pickle. Yeah, no. I mean, so what I did do was, I knew that that she's been watching this breastfeeding video on a loop for, presumably years and years and years. And so I did ask the director if he could give me that footage, because however the woman was breastfeeding her baby, I wanted to breastfeed Justin the same way. And then it was actually from that discussion that Zach had the idea. He was like, oh, we're shooting that actually in the next few days. I'm going to put in behaviors in the video that then you can mimic. And so that's where like things like the little nose boop happens. And then the whole moment at the end where, where I say baby and kiss her with my, fingers.
Yeah.
That was a kind of a last minute, idea.
So you hadn't filmed that part yet.
Yeah, exactly. So he was able to put that in and then come back to me all excited and be like, okay, we got this. We got where you rub the nose and a little boop and all this stuff. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, that's wild. Kenneth Perkins says, this is friggin' cool. Just watched Barbarian again this week. Pumpkinhead 2, is this the first time playing a character like this?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, there were a lot of firsts in this movie for me. I mean, every day was an adventure. I mean, yeah, I just like, oh, today I'm gonna Kool-Aid man through a wall and then rip someone's arm off and beat them with it. Okay, normal. Yeah, it was crazy.
So back with Justin Long, what is actually the milk made of?
Well, the prosthetic teat was not a working teat, so there was no milk in there. But as far as what was in that bottle, that is a good question, and I don't know. I mean, it was milky, so I assume it was just some nice fresh milk that Georgina had to drink, and that Justin had to have like kind of spackled on his face.
Right. I guess that's a question for them. How it tasted. Yeah. And it's out there a lot now. The deleted scene where you bird feed Justin Long's character. So what was that like to film?
Yeah, that was on the same day that we did the breastfeeding scene, and so it was a big day. After the breastfeeding scene, there's a deleted scene where mother bites the head off of a rat and then baby birds it from her mouth into his open mouth. And that was just, I'm really grateful that Justin is such a good guy. Because he could have been weird about it, or could have been like, okay, I'm good, but before we were about to do that, I was like, are you okay with this? And he's like, it's definitely the grossest thing, so we have to do it. you know, and then even things that weren't filmed, he had a great attitude about it. Like I was, for my coverage, we had like a fake rat and then we had a real rat. And for the fake rat, they had these tubes that were like spurting blood when I would bite the head off of it. And the blood, so I'm straddling Justin. He's not on camera. And the blood is just like pouring all over his crotch, basically. And he's there just going, oh man, this is getting into my underwear. I'm gonna need to change underwear after this. Okay. And he just like still had a positive attitude the entire time. It was a testament to attitude on a set.
So you don't know what the milk is made of. What's the head made out of that you're bird feeding to Justin?
Some bloody or probably ketchupy prosciutto.
Oh, well, that's very pleasant. I'm half Italian, so I approve of the prosciutto.
Hey, that's right. And in Bulgaria, oddly enough, there are a lot of Italian restaurants there. So Justin, that very night, after taking a chunk of bloody prosciutto into his mouth, he had prosciutto that night at the restaurant. So,
I would think that would ruin prosciutto for you, but
one would
maybe
think,
it's made it better. I don't know. Yeah.
I know. Maybe he now craves it.
Yeah. Maybe it's a weird question, but okay. So you go through that scene. Is it disappointing that then it doesn't make the final movie?
I mean, yeah, a little bit. Yeah. There's certainly enough other wild bonkers things that are in the movie that I did that it's like it's good. It's good. And I like that the scene is available if you buy it on digital, or I mean
it is. I didn't know that.
Oh, it is. Yes. It's also an article, like look up Entertainment Weekly Barbarian rat. There's an article where it has the video for free. But also if you buy it on iTunes or whatever, you get the deleted scenes and like.
Cool. I actually didn't know that. I'm gonna go. I'm very happy. I don't know what that says about me, but yeah, I would like to. You
can watch it in all its glory.
Was there anything else that was not even filmed but was in the original script that they decided even before they filmed it, like we don't want to do this? Or?
Not anything that I was involved in. That was all well, actually, that's not true. So Bill's death, Keith's death, was going to be, the jackhammering his head against the wall, and then I was supposed to pull out his bottom jaw and shove it into his eye holes. And on set, they had like 3 fake Bill Skarsgård heads, and they did have a jaw that was like this. It must have been an animal jaw or something. There was like meat on it. It seemed like a real jawbone. And we did try that a couple times, but it would just kind of squish the rubber head. It made the rubber head look fake. It wouldn't just slot right into the eye hole. So Zach quickly was like, no, we'll just have it be the head bash the wall thing.
Yeah.
There were a couple of times where the effect kind of wouldn't exactly go as planned. So there would just be, Zach was really good at pivoting in the moment. An example of that is when I Kool-Aid Man through the wall. It was so funny. I got to set and they're like, okay, this wall is so fragile. Don't even touch it. Don't even go near it. Don't breathe on it. It's so fragile. And we only have one take on this. We only have one go. So you're just going to run through it. It's going to break. Okay. And here we go. So I'm on the other side of the wall. I'm like nervous and I'm waiting for Andre's line. They're like, I've been here 15 years. She ain't never coming, this mother. And then I put my shoulder into it and it breaks where my shoulder is, but it was not fragile. It was it breaks where my shoulder is, but it doesn't break where my skinny legs are or anything. So it basically, there's a shot of mother like trip falling through the wall that they mercifully they cut away from that. And then they had me just go back around and jump through the wall. Hole. So they were able to fix it, but it was so funny to just like to be like, oh my gosh, I screwed this up, and to hear Zach go, huh, okay, and it's not your fault, but you feel like it's your fault,
right?
Yeah,
this is gonna be a very strange reference, but I assume you're not a pro wrestling fan.
I mean, like growing up, I remember Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant and all that stuff, and Roddy Piper and all those guys. But I haven't been keeping up.
It's just because that story reminds me in the 90s was the rest of the Shockmaster. And his debut on live TV, he breaks through a wall and he trips. and his helmet fell off. And it became like a big, like a joke for decades ever since.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, see, he had to do it live, so he didn't have the benefit of editing.
Right.
But yeah, people don't think about that. They're like, what about the part around the feet? How does that break away?
Right. Yeah, it was
probably
like a 2x4
won't. So it's just going to trip you.
Could you see well? I know your eyes are open, but you have contacts.
Yeah, I had contacts, but they weren't as bad as like I did a commercial where I was a zombie, and that was a full like cloud out of my entire eyeball. So, and also that didn't have my prescription in it. I have really bad eyesight naturally. So I was pretty blind doing that zombie commercial. But for this was actually an idea from Doug Jones. I had a Zoom call with him before I went to Bulgaria to shoot Barbarian, and I was just picking his brain about everything. And I was just like, oh yeah, by the way, do you have like 20/20 vision, or do you wear contacts? And he's like, no, I have 20/20 vision. And I'm like, well, neener, good for you. And I'm like, well, I have horrible vision. And he's like, oh, they can put that prescription in your creature contacts.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, but you should get that. You should tell them that now so that they can do it, because it requires some lead time. I was so grateful for that, because then I emailed them that, and immediately Zach called me and was like, how blind are you? Because you're going to be in these dark tunnels with beams. Like, and I'm like, yeah, I will be blind, so I probably do need to see. Anyways, all that to say, I could see.
Yeah, that's something I wouldn't have thought of. And it's good. God bless Doug Jones here helping
That's
out.
right.
I used to have, before LASIK, I had like 20/60 vision with my glasses on. It was very bad.
Oh, but then you got the LASIK?
Yes, which yeah, it was 2015 for a while. I think it's like 2020 now, but for years it was 2015, which is, this doesn't matter, but 2020 isn't perfect vision. It's actually normal vision. 2015 is actually better than 2020.
All right. So you're on board with the LASIK. I feel like
I am. It was a very strange experience, as they pry your eyes open, and they might do a little different now. This was a long time ago, and you could actually see the scalpel go around your eye, and then it's bloodshot as it goes down.
Whoa.
And then they put I had to go through a lot of tests to make sure I'd be able to keep my eyes open. Mm-hmm. It sounds terrific, but it was very quick though too.
Yeah, it's Clockwork Orange.
Exactly. I wasn't forced to watch anything.
Yeah, just the laser going into your eyes.
Right. That's probably worse, I guess. Yeah. Pumpkinhead. There's a phrase, there are worse things down there, that the homeless guy mentioned. Would that mean there would be other children in those subterranean corridors? I know when I watched it, I assumed he meant the Richard Brake character.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I assume he meant the Richard Brake character also. I think he meant Frank. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the questions and the open question marks about it that have yet to be defined. But I mean, so presumably, if the mother is a product of like horrific inbreeding and all that, so who is the mother's mother? And who was the mother's mother's mother? And did mother have a baby?
Yeah, because they said it was like a progression of it wasn't just, one offspring. It was an offspring of an offspring of an offspring. So,
and to get to a level of mutation, you would need multiple, and so, yeah. And there were multiple cages, and there's a giant pit. I think like obviously like Frank's at the end of his life when we see him, and so he's had a long, horrible.
Right. And then if it's multiples and multiples, what maybe it was passed down from Frank's relatives. This whole thing. So I don't know.
Oh,
that's what I was thinking. But who knows? But I like a movie that makes you think. And
yeah, I like that things aren't totally sketched out for you.
Were you? Well, you said you were there for the whole thing. So did you have scenes with Richard Brake? I'm not sure if you guys were seen together, but
so that was so for the flashback, they shot that last because they had to re-facade the houses that they built to look all run down. They had to rebuild them to look nice. And so I think I left before they shot that stuff. But there was overlap when Richard was getting into his old age makeup. The same makeup team that did my makeup did his. So I got out of the chair and he got in the chair. So we did meet. There's a picture of us together in our prosthetics and stuff. But yeah, we never shot anything together. But yeah.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Richard Brake. He's always good in everything. And She Plug, he's on the show years ago.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. Is there any progress for a sequel or a prequel?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know.
Might be a little early yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was a surprise success, I think, and I think studio is interested in that. It's just a matter of if Zach wants to do it, or if Zach wants to like create the concept and give it to a different writer or director, or I don't know. It's out of my hands, but I'm here. I'm ready. My joke about is if they did a prequel about the mother, I'm like, well, now I'll finally get the Hollywood experience of being replaced by a younger woman. But no, Zach's been very loyal. He's like, no, you are the mother. You're okay.
Very well, yeah. Yes.
We'll see.
Yeah. No, it even before it came out, a lot of buzz, so I was at Fright Fest. So I have a small beef with Barbarian because I was at Fright Fest with the world premiere of my first feature film, and they scheduled Barbarian like a sneak preview of it right after my movie. So everyone left the my Q&A to go see Barbarian. They were all apologetic. I was like, I understand. But
how dare they?
Yeah, but everyone was talking about Barbarian then, and so were you surprised though at the success? Because it kept building, theatrical run.
Yeah, I mean, like I knew that I liked it, but I was not objective. I really because I see myself in the film and I see, oh, that's me in prosthetics, but so it's been a surprise, one, to get all this feedback about like, oh my gosh, it's a dude, like even
right.
That I'm like, oh, well,
yeah, I didn't know that originally either. So
yeah, that's a good sign. And I think it wasn't until the Rotten Tomatoes score came out and like the critics, I was like, oh, okay, great. People that are more objective than me like it, and then obviously too, the first time I saw it with an audience, that was great because like I knew everything. I'd read the script, I knew everything that happened, but hearing it through an audience's reactions was so entertaining. And then I just kept I saw it in the theater 10 times because it was just so fun because it's funny and all those like wild turns it takes. It was just fun to like be in an audience when they're just screaming or laughing.
That's why I was saying the show, horror and comedy are the two best genres to watch with an audience.
For sure. Yeah, I'm so grateful that, because it totally, especially now, could have been just put on Hulu or something. So I'm just amazed that it was actually in theaters. It was great.
So I said I had the buzz at the festival, but not always do festival movies also go to the theaters or connect to the same audience. Because, a lot of people like just maybe really underground weird stuff at the festival, and that doesn't always appeal to everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
But it does seem like, this year alone, a lot of weird underground kind of horror stuff has done really well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a good year.
Yeah, The Smile, a lot of stuff. I don't, we won't plug other movies, but it's been a good year. Oh yeah, Stephen King. Someone here in the chat room said about Stephen King really liking the movie.
I know, I saw him tweet about it. So I mean, it was just amazing that he's seen my boobs.
Not many people. Well, I don't know. Maybe they can say. I don't think many people can claim that Stephen King has seen their boobs.
Yeah.
And he's not gonna get in trouble for that. It's out there. So I saw on your Facebook that a fan, Brittany, sent you some really cool cards.
Yeah. Yeah. They're in the other room. Otherwise I'd show them. But yeah, there's one is just like this hairy milk bottle, and it says Baba. And then the other one says Be My Baby. And it's this painting of my finger on Justin's nose. And it says a little boop with like a little, talk bubble.
Yeah.
And yeah, she like hand painted them, and now they're available on her Etsy.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I made a post about it on my Facebook or my Instagram. Go check it out and go buy one if you want.
Yeah. And so I saw your book for convention. I don't know if you've done one yet, but you were going to be anyway.
Right. I haven't done one yet, but I think at the beginning of this year I'm gonna do a couple and kind of dip my toe in and see what that's like.
Yeah, I think that'll be a cool experience. Any plans to do a full costume photo op at any time?
I don't know how that would. I would have to hire an LA prosthetic person.
I like a professional makeup. You're right.
Yeah, to like recreate the prosthetics. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think it's just gonna be pictures of mother, but it's gonna be clean cut me. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I know that like the guy who plays Art the Clown, he's doing all the conventions.
David Howard Thornton, yeah.
Yeah, and he's in the full getup.
Yeah.
But I think his is just like a mask he can pull over his head or something. I don't know.
Probably. Yeah, I think they might have extensions on the cheeks and stuff, but it might be like a mask, like you said.
Yeah. I imagine you've gone to a lot of horror conventions.
I used to do I used to host a lot of the panels, and the movie I mentioned earlier, I actually filmed at a convention. But yeah, I used to do a lot of conventions.
Yeah. So do you think I should be in full makeup, or will it be just
what I would do if I were you, I would do the conventions as yourself for a while, and then do the full makeup.
That's right. See if some convention really wants to foot the bill for,
some of them have had like professional makeup artists.
Oh yeah, they'll do like demonstrations there.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe it could be a collaboration. Someone will transform me.
Yeah, I think like even like Tom Savini did like a Jason at one of the conventions, and like the professional guys have done the like Uber Jason and these different horror characters.
Well, you just put on a hockey mask.
Well, that one was a little more to it, I think. But,
okay.
So, yeah. It was more the zombie Jason when he
comes
back.
Okay. Gotcha.
Are you a horror movie fan?
I have a lot of horror blind spots. And so part of it was, I mean, like I grew up loving, The Shining and loving Evil Dead 2 and stuff like that. But also kind of avoiding things that I thought would be too much for me. Like I've never seen a Saw movie or, that kind of thing. But when I was on set in Bulgaria, like Zach Cregger is obviously a huge horror fan, and this new Regency producer Elena, she was a big horror fan. So I was like, okay, what should I watch? While I'm here, and so that's when I watched Hereditary for the first time.
Oh, nice!
It is awesome, obviously.
Yeah.
And Zach really loves Audition, the Japanese movie, and so I watched that for the first time in my hotel in Bulgaria.
It's pretty graphic, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I was watching it with like my earbuds, and the sounds of those little, just all of that was a lot. But I've rewatched it actually, and I mean, I really like it. It's a really good movie.
Yeah.
So I was proud of myself that I could rewatch it.
Yeah, definitely. And
what's your favorite? What's your favorite? What's your
horror movie of all time? Or?
Yeah.
It really depends what mood I'm in, but I would probably have to go with like the Universal monster movies. I grew up watching those. I really like the Frankenstein, especially, and the Invincible Man, and Creature from the Black Lagoon. It's up there too. I also like Creepshow, which was up here. That's the first VHS tape my mom bought me in the 80s.
Awesome.
And I like it a lot too, because I think it's got a combination of monsters, and it's also very funny.
Yeah. I've seen both of those. I've seen the Tim Curry and the Bill Skarsgård. Yes.
Oh, yeah, that would be it. But I like it too.
What did you say? You didn't say it?
No, I said Creepshow.
Oh, you said Creepshow. Oh, and then you were saying I like it, but you were still.
Oh, see, all right. I like it, but I also do like it, and okay. I also like both versions because I like that they're played differently.
Oh, for sure.
Because the Skarsgård one is actually more, I think, closer to the novel, where he's more otherworldly as opposed to just an evil clown.
Mm-hmm.
But I think both are good. And I really like the child. I like both parts, but I think even the book, I think when they're children is more interesting than the adult part.
Yeah, for sure.
And Psycho, I like Psycho. I like a lot of the old stuff. But I mean, I like a lot of, it really depends what kind of mood I'm in. I like some crazy, bloody, crazy movie. If I want something funny, Evil Dead 2 is a great, very fun.
So good.
Yeah, just it's a few months ago they showed all three, Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness, outside in a cabin by the woods. It was, by a cabin in the woods. It was a very fun experience. Yeah.
Awesome.
So I do want to mention your music, because I was watching some of the videos. I watched A Nightmare Before Christmas, which was awesome. And I was listening to the Shining musical songs, and I thought these were fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, there's your horror, overlap. I wrote a half-hour musical.
And not to lose my horror cred, but I also am a musical fan, so I like the combination of the two. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. What are some of your favorite musicals?
Well, the first musical I ever went to live was, I guess it's a horror music though, but is Little Shop of Horrors.
That musical is so good. It's so funny. And it's great.
Yeah, the music's amazing. Dom DeLuise was Mr. Mushnick in the one I went to see.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Cool. He's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm going to say all horror ones. I love Sweeney Todd.
Yes, me too. I have the score for it right here. I'm a huge Sondheim fan, so mine are tied for Sweeney Todd and Sunday in the Park with George are my two favorites.
Sure. Yeah, and when the first time I was in England, I had to go to Fleet Street and eat a meat pie.
Yeah.
My friend didn't know what the hell I was like, we have to have meat pies on Fleet Street. He's like, okay, whatever, I don't know. Sure. Awesome. It was a small music, I forget the name of the company. It's a small company in Boston, and every October they do like a weird Halloween-y thing, and they did Silence the Musical, and it was a Silence of the Lambs musical, and it was, I don't know if it ever played anywhere else, but it was funny.
I've heard of that. Right, they have a whole number called like Put the Lotion in the Basket.
Yeah, and they have a whole one with multiple mix when he throws his ejaculate at but there's a whole song about that. Yeah, and everyone plays it super straight, and the music is like really well done but very like dramatic, which makes it much more funny to me. Yeah. So do you still do the musicals?
Well, yeah, the most recent one I did was an original musical called Pun Off, which is a musical about pun competitions, which are a real thing. They're a real thing that exists. There's one in Austin that's been going for like 45 years. And I just love stories about just nerdy adults that care too much about a niche thing and, are competing. And so it reminded me a lot of the documentary King of Kong.
I have this in my, as soon as you started saying that, that's what I thought, because I saw you did a King of Kong musical, and I love that movie.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I just love how there's a real good guy and a bad guy. Yes. Like Billy Mitchell is an amazing character, and he's real. And then he has like minions it's like,
you couldn't write a better villain. And a better underdog. Yeah,
it's like this Shakespearean, epic tale, an epic battle, but it's about Donkey Kong. So yes, I did do a half-hour musical of King of Kong with like 8-bit chiptune music and stuff. But that I don't own that property. So Pun Off was kind of a way of doing what I liked about King of Kong, but doing it with my own idea. And then it's also an excuse to like shoehorn a bunch of wordplay into songs, which I already do already. But when it's about punsters, then it's warranted.
Yeah. So, and a cheap plug for other fans of King of Kong. I did an interview with Mr. Awesome, Roy Schilt, many years ago when the movie came out. It's like an hour interview. It's very bizarre and it's very funny.
Wow, that's awesome.
And I think they should play a clip of it. It's not the Ballad of Billy Mitchell, but it's like I forget what it's called, but it's a Billy Mitchell song that they play. They play just a little clip of it in King of Kong, but if you ever hear the entire song, it's amazing.
Okay.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
Well, this has been very fun. I loved Barbarian, even though it messed up my Q&A, and I really like the music stuff that you're doing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. If anyone's interested, they can go on my YouTube channel, Matthew Patrick Davis, or my Instagram, and I have songs there that I've written.
Yeah, it's very fun.
We
do music of the month on the show. Maybe some point we could have you as our music of the month, and every interview would close out with one of your tunes. If we could work it out,
that'd be great.
As long as I don't get flagged on the YouTube forum.
I know. How would that? Yeah, I don't know how.
I have to get permission. That's how it works.
Okay.
I used to do it when we were audio only. No, it didn't matter. But since I do it live on YouTube, it's a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
So where can people follow you? Not to your home, but
yes, follow me to my house. On Instagram, Matthew Patrick Davis, or on YouTube, Matthew Patrick Davis. Those are the main places I'm the most active.
All right.
Or on Facebook. Yeah.
All right. Very good. This has been very fun. I'm glad this worked out.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And I know you're a busy man. I think after today you're going and doing some cool stuff.
I'm doing a Christmas show down in Laguna Beach. I spin many disparate plates. Play scary naked ladies, and then I'm also in a weird version of the Wizard of Oz. I'm playing the Scarecrow. So
it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Now, speaking of music month, I'm actually going to play a song now by the music. I was just getting it ready by Dylan Mars Greenberg. You can stay, you can take off. Doesn't matter. But
okay.
I'm not making you stay. I don't want to make you feel weird.
I didn't know if we were like ending the live and then so actually say bye. But are we actually saying bye?
We're saying bye. I'm going to play the credits and the music, and I will talk to you another time. Maybe at a convention.
Thank you, Neal.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
The son of my own, with his hand on the mantle, he never calls home, made from stardust and candles, he lightens the quack's tail, took my bow for a quick sail, the son of my own, never leaves me alone. Oh, you never will find him, you never will care, will find him, as soon you set sail, find him, and show us you're a reasonable man, you did all you can, you did all you can, the son of my own, he's the king of his country, he'll run through the phone, and begin an industry, he's logically rational, he shoots like a professional, the run of my home, made a dent in his dome,
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe, hit that little bell icon so you can get all the notifications when we're live or when I post a new interview. Big thanks to Matthew Patrick Davis of Barbarian. Seemed like a really cool guy, and I am a musical fan. I was just gonna belt out some tunes from all these movies, but I will not do that because we don't want to interfere with the music of the month. Big thanks to Music of the Month, Dylan Mars Greenberg. Thanks to the people who do our intro music, The Tomb of Nick Cage. Go and check out all these fine folks. Go and check out on our merchandise is on sale right now, but maybe when you hear this, maybe it's not anymore, but it's on TeePublic. Just look up Without Your Head. We also have a store with free shipping with Amazon Prime on Amazon. Join the Facebook group. You'll see when who's coming up on the show. A lot of cool stuff in the works. Next week here live in the show will be Jeremy Sellenfriend, who did the effects in Smile and American Horror Story New York, which is very cool. It's going to be a good one. Later on in this month, we're I think the very week after that, we're going to the 35th anniversary reunion of I Was a Teenage Zombie. That will be very fun. And then on the 29th, we will have Chatterer from the new Hellraiser, currently on Hulu. So that's going to be very cool. And then we'll be into the new year, and all kinds of stuff will happen. All right. There's going to be some interviews that will pop up that won't be live. I just did one earlier with Travis. He did a Wounded Fawn. It's a great movie. So I checked that out on Shudder. Travis Stevens. I knew the name. All right. I'm going to get out of here. Thanks, everybody. Oh, by the way, Texas, this Saturday in Corpus Christi at South Texas Underground Film Festival. My films, End Zone 2 and the Once and Future Smash, will be playing in Corpus Christi. And then Sunday, the East Coast premiere, they will be at New York City Horror Fest this Sunday. It's both very exciting. I would make it out to both of them Saturday. You could also get the Future Smash Burger. It is a burger named after our film, and it is vegan because our directors Michael Epstein and Sophia Cassiola are vegan, and then so they were thinking very nice of the fine folks, Mariella and Robert Perez, and don't forget Elvis Perez, who run South Texas Underground Film Festival. All right, I'm out of here. Subscribe here. Subscribe on Spotify. Subscribe on iTunes. Leave some comments. Leave ratings. Do it all up. Share it to your friends. Share it to your loved ones. Share it to your enemies, and they will become your friends. Spread the head. Get the word out there. All right, until next week, this is Nasty Neal, and this was Without Your Head.